Steal from people all the time. I steal from people all the time. I'm as bad as Claudia.
What? Excuse me, what? I steal from people all the time. I'm as bad as Claudine Gay is what he's about to say. Oops, James. Oops, sometimes doing an extemporaneous speech where you don't script it beforehand leads you to saying the quiet part out loud. What was that? What was that? What, James?
Podcast is getting downloaded 10 million times because I thought it was profound. So you don't know where your message is going to get and where it's not going to get. I steal from people all the time. 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 I'm as bad as Claudine Gay.
We are here because socialists speak in a coded language. And the best way to learn that language and become inoculated to that language is by listening to what they say in the real world. You have to keep in mind that they are using the same vocabulary as us. They are not using the same dictionary. They have different definitions for the words. And if you don't understand what those definitions are, you fundamentally do not understand them. But as long as you're going to be here, you're going to follow my rules, okay? Number one, the reason that we do Socialism Saturday is that socialists speak in a coded language. They may use the same vocabulary as us. They do not use the same dictionary as us, okay? Socialists speak in code. They may use the same vocabulary as us. They do not use the same dictionary as us. First thing you need to know, socialists speak in code. The reason that we watch this content is because we want to understand what their language means. Socialists use the same vocabulary as us. They do not use the same dictionary as us. So it is very important that we listen to the context of what they're saying to be able to ascertain what they mean. The reason that we do Socialism Saturday is because socialists speak in a coded language, okay? They may use the same vocabulary as us. They do not use the same dictionary.
Communists, this is a rule everybody needs to have in their head. I want you to really pay attention to this. Keep it in the back of your head. It's going to be very familiar, but it's a little like,
oh God, everyone needs to brace themselves for what he's about to say.
Cooked, so you got to think through the words a little bit. Communists share your vocabulary, but they do not share your dictionary.
Have we heard that before? Have we heard that before? Have you guys heard that before? Have you guys heard that on literally every episode of Socialism Saturday for like a year? Has everyone heard that before? Has everyone heard that before? Communists share your vocabulary, but they don't share your dictionary. Where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that before? You want to tell me James isn't watching my stuff? Because it seems to me that everyone in my audience has heard that before. And James, I haven't listened to your content in years. So where'd you get that, James? Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that line, James? Because I've been saying that literally as an introduction for Socialism Saturday for a really long ass time. Where did you get that line, James? You gave this speech 2 weeks ago. Where'd you hear that, James? Who do you know, James? Who do you know that is like the person that's been decoding socialist language so that you actually understand it for fucking years now? Where'd you get that line, James? Where'd you get that line? Communists share your vocabulary, but they don't share your dictionary. James Lindsay, I like to steal things. I steal as much as Claudine Gay. Everyone in my audience knows where that line comes from, James. Verbatim. Not unadded. This is exactly the same thing as he did with the colleges of education stuff. He stole that verbatim too. He's saying verbatim what I've been saying since 2022. Everyone in my audience knows where you got that line, James. Every single person knows where you got that line. Every single person here knows where you got it. A wise man once said, I steal all the time. Oh, James Lindsay said that less than 5 minutes ago in this very speech. And isn't it a coincidence that James is telling his audience not to listen to me? James is telling his audience not to watch me. James is only discrediting me. James will never debate me because he knows I would kick his ass up and down the fucking debate floor if he ever fucking tried. Isn't it a coincidence that for weeks now, James has been encouraging people to ignore everything I say and everything I do? And no, don't look at that video evidence. Don't do that because that bitch is crazy. Where have we heard that line before? I say that verbatim every single fucking week and have for years. Even your fans that watch me, James, know where that line comes from. It's clear to all of us, bro. Let's just listen again.
Share your vocabulary, but they do not share your dictionary. In other words, they use the same words that you do, but they don't mean the same thing by those words.
What does I don't know. This might be coded, but I'm not sure. What does a Gnostic sex cult have to do with the far left's goal? This guy named Bot is going off about this Gnostic sex cult. What that?
And so we're just not going to answer that question.
Okay, so that's I figured that. So we're just okay. That's why I figured that. Yeah.
Obsessed with lying to his audience. What crazy things can he get them to believe? He does it irresponsibly to pocket all that money from the mills for liberty. The left hates capitalism, but James won't admit it. He refuses to believe queer theory destabilizes normativity. Gender binary and the nuclear family. Change blocks the truth, smears people who try to show him. Creates an echo chamber for himself to reinforce his fantasy. He used to believe in something. What happened? Mills for liberty. Gnostic sex cult building his own world. A Gnostic sex cult unhinged from reality. Totally lost in what can we do but mock him relentlessly. It's not a Gnostic sex cult, James. No, it's not. Stop lying to your audience. No, it's not. It's not a Gnostic change. And a grip Mary Nardini tells us queer liberation means the annihilation of capitalism. Catch up, James. Whiteness means capitalism. Queer theory hates capitalism. Whiteness means capitalism. Queer theory hates capitalism. Whiteness means capitalism. It's all about capitalism. Everyone knows it's capitalism. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. Whoa. no, it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. It's all about capitalism. Everyone knows it's capitalism. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. It's capitalism. To pocket all that money from the mills for liberty. The left hates capitalism, but James won't admit it. He refuses to believe queer theory stabilizes normativity, gender binary, and the nuclear family. But James blocks the truth, smears people who try to show him, creates an echo chamber for himself to reinforce his fantasy. Is to believe in something. What happens for liberty? Gnostic sex cult building its own world. Gnostic sex cult unhinged from reality. He's totally lost it. What can we do but mock him relentlessly?
Hello, fellow Gnostic sex cultists. Well, haven't we had an eventful day? A day full of ups and downs, as it were. Welcome to The Cult, guys. The Cult is a show that I stream at 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on this here YouTube channel, on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, and on Rumble, where we talk about the culture war. We do deep dives into the far left. I am the only person on the internet regularly doing deep dives into abolish the family content, and that's been true for 2 years. I do deep dives into all the things the far left is doing. I show you exactly what the far left is saying when they think that people like us aren't listening. And, you know, people are continually confused when they find my content, because I get a lot of like old James Lindsay supporters on this channel who they watch James for years and years and years, and they can't understand what the F he's saying. And then they come to a couple Socialism Saturdays, which we do on Saturdays at 6 p.m. on my channel. And all of a sudden they're like, holy shit, this is what it actually is. And because they don't have to take my word for it, they don't have to trust me at all. It's not about anything I say. I just show the leftist content. I pause it, I break it down, we listen to the language over and over and over again. People start to learn the language, they start to become fluent in it, they start to understand the left's ideas, and then all of a sudden when they do that, they realize that James Lindsay was lying to them all along. I'm not going pinky swear, trust me, bro. All I do is show leftist trainings, pretty much. And I had a great leftist training that we were going to do today. We were going to do a leftist training from one of the CUNY colleges. So the CUNY colleges, the City University of New York, they've got this whole lesbian, gay, and trans center that they regularly do all this queer studies training. And I've had a training from theirs on the docket for a while. It was like an hour and a half training that we were going to watch today, and we were going to break it down, and we'll end up doing it tomorrow. We're going to do the debate tomorrow as well, of course. But I was ready to go about business as usual today. And then James Lindsay decides to struggle session the Babylon Bee to take away a credit that I rightfully earned based on last week's Socialism Saturday. Now, for those who missed last week's Socialism Saturday, it really was an awesome Socialism Saturday. If you are unfamiliar with Abolish the Family content, then you're going to want to watch this Socialism Saturday. I'm working on making clips from it, and it was a 4-hour breakdown of a 3-year-old speech from Sophie Lewis. And it wasn't even the first time I've covered this speech. It was the second time I've covered this speech, because we covered it the first time back when it happened, or back not too long after it happened. And then we learned so much more between then and now that I was like, I want to watch this speech again. I want to see how much more we can get out of it. It was an awesome episode of Socialism Saturday. We had new people here. They were asking questions. We got some great clips. And then we found a content thief in our midst. Melanie Bennett. Now, Melanie has actually been stealing my content for a while. I've known about this for a while. People would message me that, Carlin, Melanie's using your talking points. And Melanie actually used to follow me. Melanie would actually admit to watching my content. She would admit to reading my content. She admitted I'm using your talking points. At the time, I was like, okay, this is actually a good thing. It's a good thing if people are hearing the talking points. I wasn't going to make a big stink out of it. People seem to think that I make a big stink out of everything because when I make the choice to make a stink about something, you're going to fucking hear it. But the truth is, I've known for literally months, that Melanie Bennett was stealing my content. And lo and behold, on Monday, or maybe it was even Sunday evening, literally the day after Socialism Saturday, all of a sudden, here comes Melanie posting a clip from the same Sophie Lewis speech that we watched on Socialism Saturday. It's exactly the same clip that I made on the stream. I made a clip of this. And so I slid into Melanie's replies and I said, Melanie, did you tune into Socialism Saturday, perchance? Here's the thing. Big Tech can do all he wants. Big Tech is not actually the lead story today. Big Tech is a secondary story at best. So if Big Tech wants to stream snipe this, he's more than welcome to stream snipe it, but he's going to have to wait till I get good and ready to talk about him. So he can sit back and watch whatever retarded content he wants to watch on his stream until then. He can have it up in his tabs all he wants, but he is not the lead story right now. It's not all about him. Despite what he may think, the world does not actually revolve around him. So I asked Melanie, I was like, Melanie, did you tune into Socialism Saturday yesterday, perchance? And she literally said, this one was picked up from listening to your show. Yes. I didn't think it would get picked up the way it did, and I should probably add a tag next time. And I was like, next time? You know what you could do right now, Melanie? You could reply to your tweet and just put a link to the Socialism Saturday episode and say, I got this from Carlin's episode of Socialism Saturday. You can watch the full stream here. Like, wouldn't that have been nice? Listen, man, I don't mind if people use clips from my shows. I really, really don't. I do not mind at all. What I mind is when wannabe influencers on the internet watch my content just to find out what I'm talking about. And people don't understand. I have to dig for hours to find some of this content. Now, I knew about this one, but the reason I knew about this one is I dug for hours before to find this content. No one else, literally zero other people on the internet are covering this content. I've been covering Sophie Lewis regularly for 2 years. I've been covering Abolish the Family content for 2 years. James Lindsay has never even touched Abolish the Family content. I am the only person that even knows how to find this stuff. None of the rest of them do. And so if you see me getting a little persnickety about the fact that people literally watch my content to find out what I'm talking about, so they can then go in and snake it to try to get famous on Twitter for clout, clicks, and cash. Yeah, I start to get a little persnickety about this because this is hours of work that goes in behind the scenes, just digging through different things to find these trainings, to find stuff to show you guys that is highly relevant. And so I think that when I'm doing that, I don't know, man, like maybe just throw me a little credit if you're using my work, if you're using my sources, if you are literally finding the content because you're watching my show, then perhaps maybe credit it. Reagan says it's true. I've done research before and there are better things to watch than others. It takes time to find the golden content. It takes a lot of time to find the golden content. So I said to Melanie, yeah, I mean, it would be nice when you use content I spend hours digging for to find without attributing where it came from. It would be nice if you could reply to the tweet noting the Socialism Saturday stream you got it from and directing people there for more information. Wouldn't it have been nice if Melanie, in addition to her clip, said, listen, if you want a full breakdown, a full 4-hour breakdown that we did on Socialism Saturday of this content, just go here and watch it. Thanks, Carlin, for finding this stuff. I really appreciate it. This really didn't need to be that big of a deal. And this is kind of the theme for today. Why can't people just fucking do the right thing? Why is it so difficult on the internet just to get people to do the right thing? Why is this so challenging? I give credit to people all the time when I use their work. And it doesn't matter if they're a big creator or a little creator. I'm especially finicky about giving credit to little creators. Like, how many times have we talked about Stu Studio? Stu Studio was just out there just like recording these private trainings and going into them and putting them on the internet. He had a couple thousand followers when I found him. His YouTube channel is still painfully undersubscribed. We've had Stu Studio on Happy Hour several times. We've had him in the chat. I've told everyone to go follow Stu Studio. I have plugged his work countless times. He is doing, still to this day, some of the best protest coverage of the left of anyone on the internet. I have no problem saying this at all because I'm not challenged by, I don't feel like I'm in competition with Stu Studio. I feel like we're on the same team. But why is it so difficult to get anyone else to do this? Why is it so difficult to get anyone to credit other people for what they do, or even just stand up and do the right thing? I don't understand. So Melanie stole this clip from me. Melanie admitted that she stole this clip from me. Melanie refused to give me credit with a simple follow-up tweet after it went viral. This clip has been stolen by Jordan Peterson, James Lindsay, Ian Miles Chung, Vocal Distance, all these other outlets. And wouldn't you know it, but the Babylon Bee covered it. Or not the Babylon Bee, but the Not the Bee. The Not the Bee. The not fake news version of the real stuff, right? Naruto says, last night Lauren Chen made a video about the rise and fall of Lily in which she played two Nick Fuentes clips and Con Inc. is riddled with grifters. Lauren Chen is a real one, man. I love Lauren Chen. Thank you for the super chat, Naruto. I appreciate it. So my audience, because listen, people can accuse my audience of being in a cult all they want, and that's part of the reason that the show is named what it is, because it's kind of funny. Also, because I think socialism is a cult. Also, it's shorthand for the culture war. Like, I mean, but people have accused me of having a cult for years. But the fact of the matter is, I have some of the most dedicated followers out there. I have people that will sit here for hours every week with me watching socialism content, watching dozens of hours of a dozen hours at least of socialism content every single week. We break it down, we make clips, we share it out. Like, my audience has gone undercover with me. My audience has helped me go undercover. We've gone to real world events. And the thing of it is my audience for years has been very, very confused about why my work is not getting more coverage. And I kept trying to tell them the conservative influencers don't actually care about this. They don't care about it. They don't care about it. I've been saying this over and over again. They don't care about this. All they care about is clickbait, bullshit, and nonsense for cash. That's all they care about. And I kept trying to explain this to my audience over and over and over again, and they weren't getting it. Well, recently, they've started to get it. Recently, they've seen time after time after time that stuff that I produced, undercover work that I did, that they funded, gets stolen by conservative influencers and then gets plastered all over their stuff without mentioning where it came from. I'll give you an example of this. One of the best examples of this, and I'll go over to the Substack to show you. One of the very best examples of this was when I went undercover at the Socialism 2023 conference. And I was there by myself for 3 days, surrounded by 400 Antifa. Well, they weren't all Antifa, but a lot of them were Antifa. And a lot of them knew who I was, and they had already preemptively banned me from this conference. And there was like not an insignificant chance I was going to get my ass kicked to doing this undercover project, if we're honest about it. Like, I put myself in the middle of people who know I cover them for a living, who hate me. I had to wear a fucking disguise. I wore a chest binder and everything. I dyed my hair. I got new glasses. I did everything. See, now even Mio is getting on it. Mio, can we make an unholy alliance where we harangue the hell out of James Lindsay? Please? Please, can we do this? Please, can we do this? Anyway, I went undercover at this conference. I was sitting in one of the sessions. Emily Drabinski, the head of the American Library Association, comes right up to the microphone right next to me. I've got a secret recorder in my pocket. And Emily Drabinski literally says libraries need to be a site of socialist organizing. And I got it all on recording. And I was the only person in the world who had this recording because I was the only person who took the time out to go undercover for 3 days at a literal fucking socialist conference. Well, guess what happened with this? All of a sudden, Jack Posobiec is stealing my journalism. He's using it to sell books. Like people are like even Donald Trump Jr. retweeted someone that stole it from me. Like, it was just literally millions of views and like thousands of dollars of cash and like advertising money was generated off of content that was generated by me going undercover an event I put myself in physical danger to go undercover at, and they steal it willy-nilly and blast it all over the place, and they don't give an F. I'm pissed the grifter stealing your work. Fuck James Lindsay. Yeah, fuck James Lindsay. These people are gatekeepers. They are absolutely gatekeepers. So my audience has now seen this. My audience has seen this over and over and over again, where I do something that I spend hours doing or days doing. I spend in the socialism I spent thousands of dollars of my own money going undercover at that to get this content that no one else got. And now all of a sudden my audience is starting to see that people are just stealing it and they're starting to get pissed. So I have this dedicated group of people that love what I do, that sit here and do it with me all the time, that are now seeing with their own eyes the conservative grift machine of stealing the content of independent journalists and passing it off as their own. So when the Babylon Bee promoted Melanie's stolen content, all of a sudden my audience was like, oh, fuck no. And they started inundating the Babylon Bee saying, this is where it came from. This is where it came from. This is where it came from. Reagan was posting receipts. Reagan was posting like Melanie admitting that she got it from me. All of this stuff is in Babylon Bee's replies. And to my utter shock and amazement, the Babylon Bee actually said, sorry, we updated the article to include your link. And then I went to the article and I was like, holy shit. For once, for one time in the years that I've been doing this, one time, a conservative outlet actually did the right thing. They actually just said, here is the video from Carlin. I mean, they said reacting to this nonsense. What they probably should have said is, here is the clip to Carlin breaking down the content and explaining it. And it was like, I was literally in shock when I was like, holy shit. And then we got all excited. We were like, we got one. There is one outlet there. And the irony of it being like the Babylon Bee is not the Bee version. Like that was like not lost on us. We were like, there is one outlet that gets it. We made this whole big fuss about them. Thank you for having integrity, not the Bee. Thank you. Made this whole big deal about it on Twitter. Well, guess what happened then? After the Babylon Bee tweets, the article has been updated to link to Dr. Carlin Bee's video directly. Sorry it took a little bit to update this, but we appreciate all of you bringing it to our attention. Who slides into the Babylon Bee's replies? But James Lindsay. Now, as a reminder, you saw the video at the opening of this stream. We have literally caught James Lindsay red-handed, not only admitting that he steals other people's work as much as Claudine Gay does, but actually stealing my work. Like, James Lindsay stole my talking points verbatim and used it in that speech. You saw the video. You can rewind to the beginning of the video if you missed it. I played it at the introduction. We have this. We found a random video of a speech he gave at some random event where he literally said flat out that he steals people's content and then proceeded to use my words that you guys have heard me say over and over and over and over and over again. Naruto says, you went the full non-binary for undercover journalism. Con Inc. will never make these tough decisions. I literally had to wear a chest binder for 3 goddamn days. Do you know how uncomfortable that is? I dyed my hair. I ruined my hair for months. I ruined my hair for months to go to that conference. I had to drag out all of my best leftist clothes from the back of my closet. I had to dress all fucking frumpy to blend in with socialists. I had to be around 400 Antifa. Do you guys understand what it was like being in a room with 400 Antifa for 3 fucking days? In Chicago, of all places? Anyway. This is the shit I do that people like James Lindsay refuse to do. So James Lindsay, as soon as he finds out that literally this is all it was, guys. This is all it was. It was literally just a link saying, here is an episode of Carlin's Socialism Saturday where she's breaking it down. And again, this is a great episode. It's an awesome episode. If you want to understand Abolish the Family content, this is the episode. There is no drama in this episode. There's no bullshit in this episode. It's just like breaking down the content and explaining it. And James Lindsay was so pissed off that the Babylon Bee, or excuse me, not the Bee, dared to include a link to my Abolish the Family content, that he replied to them saying, you got struggle sessioned by an abusive narcissist cult. Reach out. We'll talk. I advise removing the link. You don't owe the internet a finder's fee. 1 second. Let me just play that James Lindsay clip again. Just the first part of it. Just the first part of it. Let's just hear James say what he does regularly again. Just real quick.
I steal from people all the time. I'm as bad as Claude.
What? Excuse me, what? I steal from people all the time. I'm as bad as Claudine Gay, is what he's about to say. Oops, James. Oops. Sometimes doing an extemporaneous speech where you don't script it beforehand leads you to saying the quiet part out loud. What was that? What was that? What, James?
Podcast is getting downloaded 10 million times because I thought it was profound. So you don't know where your message is going to get and where it's not going to get. I steal from people all the time. 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 I'm as bad.
Are we clear? Are we clear about what's going on here? James Lindsay has never covered Abolish the Family content. He has never, not once, and we've looked, he has never covered Abolish the Family content. I have been covering Abolish the Family content on a very regular basis for 2 years. And James Lindsay, who admits to stealing other people's work, is so annoyed at the idea that someone might actually watch my Abolish the Family content that he literally struggle sessioned the Babylon Bee, not the Bee, into removing something that was a proper credit to the work that I did by saying I'm an abusive narcissist and my entire audience is a cult. And you know what? It's totally fine to steal people's work. You don't owe a finder's fee. Just because Carlin spends hours doing this and James has never done this in his life, and James doesn't know how to do what I do, and I'm a way better teacher than James is, because as soon as James Lindsay's audience finds me and they find how I teach this content, they realize that James was just blowing smoke up their ass the entire time. And they're like, holy shit, Carlin, now I understand this. I don't even need to read James's books anymore. And of course, that's the point. Because I am a far better teacher about what the left is doing than James Lindsay is. My audience understands far more about what the left is doing than James Lindsay's audience. My audience not only understands it better, my audience can teach it to other people better. And James knows this. James knows he's a shitty teacher. And so the only tactic that he has is to literally demand that no one include links to my content anywhere, even when they admit, when it is clear where the content came from. Even when there is no question, it came from me, it came from the work I did, it came from the hours I put in on the back end that Melanie watched live on the internet, swoop in and stole. James Lindsay helps her amplify it everywhere. The Babylon Bee covers it, not the Bee covers it. They were notified by my audience where the original source came from. They did the right thing, updated their article, and then James Lindsay comes in and says, "You're spreading the work of an abusive narcissist who struggle sessions. Why don't you just come to me? Why don't you just talk to me? Just remove that link. We don't want anyone finding her work. We don't want anyone knowing what this stuff is. We don't want anyone doing that. Just come to me." The personal lore, Mio, and I've covered this a lot of times, and we can go over it on a space if you want later. James Lindsay has stolen from me repeatedly. James Lindsay has lied about me repeatedly. James Lindsay has photoshopped evidence to put on Twitter to try to basically. Okay, here's the too long didn't read, Mio. Basically everything that people do to Nick, James Lindsay has done to me. James Lindsay has tweeted that I have a personality disorder multiple times to try to keep people from listening to me. James has photoshopped like view counts on my videos to claim that no one watches me. He has Mia, watch this. Watch this. This is a clip from when he was on Benjamin Boyce and we asked him about his Gnostic sex cult theory. Watch this real quick.
What does I don't know. This might be coded, but I'm not sure. What does a Gnostic sex cult have to do with the far left's goal? This guy named Bot is going off about this Gnostic sex cult. What that?
And so we're just not going to answer that question.
Okay, so that's I figured that. So we're just okay. That's why I figured that. Yeah.
James Lindsay is literally so pissed off that my audience knows more about queer theory than he does, that he refuses to answer questions from us and flips us off when we ask those questions. But it doesn't stop there, guys. It doesn't stop there. After James struggle sessioned Not the Bee and actually Not the Bee capitulated to James. Not the Bee removed the link from the article because James asked them to. And they instead replaced it with the full 90-plus minute interview that was brought to X's attention after a YouTube stream with activist Karlin Borisenko. No link. So now they're just linking to the original content. They're not linking to the breakdown of the content. They're not linking to, like, most conservatives are going to watch this and not understand what it means. Maybe Not the Bee doesn't understand this because Not the Bee also doesn't understand what this means, by the way. Liquid Marble says earlier, I read the Not the Bee article on Abolish the Family and they're still not getting it. This is about abolishing private property, not sexualizing children. Literally, Not the Bee does not understand what this content is about. Do you want to know why? Because they've listened to James Lindsay, and James Lindsay has lied to them about what it's about. We know what it's about because I've been covering this content for 2 years. So instead of providing people with a resource where they can watch the speech and have it broken down by me and by my audience into normal people terminology so that normal people can understand where all the attacks on parental rights are coming from, where gender ideology is coming from, where all this stuff is coming from, instead of having that resource available to their audience, because James Lindsay struggle sessioned them, Not the Bee decided to take that resource away and instead link directly to the content that their audience is not going to understand because they don't speak the same language as this person. But it didn't stop there. When I started tweeting about this, and by the way, look who's in James's replies. Melanie Bennett saying, "Thank you, James. Thank you." Now, Melanie is the person who stole the content in the first place. Melanie is the person who has been stealing my content for months without crediting me. And "Thank you, James. Thank you for protecting me from the evil narcissist. She's such a bully. She asked for credit when I stole her content. Can you believe, James, that I was watching Carlin's content and stealing her talking points and using them, and I was stealing her clips and using them based on all the work that she put into it, and can you believe that she asked for credit? Can you believe that she asked people to tell them where the content came from? Thank you for protecting me from this evil narcissist. And then James went on after I said, James Lindsay is now literally struggle sessioning Not the Bee because he's stolen from my work for years. He's admitted it and we've caught him. And he's pissed off that anyone who finds my work, because I'm a better teacher than he is about what the left is doing. After getting all of our congratulations for doing the right thing just a few hours ago, Not the Bee has removed this link that they placed in their article after James Lindsay struggle sessioned them. James has never covered this topic and is desperate to prevent people from watching my work. And James, to be really fair, it does kind of seem as though you are actually desperate to prevent people from finding my work. Why would it have mattered to James Lindsay at all if Not the Bee had a single link to an awesome episode of Socialism Saturday where we are breaking down the entire speech and explaining what abolish the family is, and explaining what social reproduction theory is, and explaining where all this stuff comes from, and explaining what the words mean, and explaining how it impacts people's normal lives? Why doesn't James Lindsay want people to have access to this content? Why would this have even mattered to him at all? Hasn't James gotten enough attention? Can't James stand for there to be one link on the entire internet of people linking to the Socialism Saturday content? Thank you, Benjamin Jackson. I really do appreciate it. But no, James doesn't want that. So James instead is tweeting to his entire audience that I'm darvoing him. That, guys, do you know who the real victim in all this is? It's James Lindsay. James Lindsay, who swooped in where he wasn't even mentioned. James Lindsay, who was so pissed off that there was one single link to my Socialism Saturday content that literally all it said was, here is the full stream where you can watch the whole thing. That he literally said, this is a narcissistic cult. And then James Lindsay, because I said, oh, look, James Lindsay's struggle sessioning them. Isn't that nice? James Lindsay is the one who is claiming that James Lindsay is the real victim in this situation. James Lindsay is, I am the evil narcissist because my audience demanded that Not the Bee credit my work. And it is provable where it came from. And no one is confused about this. Everyone knows what happened. Melanie watched my stream, saw what I was covering, took the clip, put it on Twitter, sent it to James, because James will share any of these clips from Socialism Saturday as long as it doesn't come from me. Doesn't matter that I'm the one that finds all this stuff. Melanie doesn't even understand what this stuff means. But because there was one link to my work in one article, and I called it out, James is now the victim of an evil narcissist. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? What else do I have? Oh, by the way, this is Not the Bee's response. And I'll be writing a Substack article about this later so you guys can see all this stuff for yourself, because it's kind of hard to see it when it's just like this. Hang on, maybe I can do it like this. So I was in the DMs with Not the Bee, and I said, you literally bent the knee to a struggle session. Thanks for removing that link. And I basically said to them, we actually thought you had integrity. We were actually really excited, Not the Bee, when you decided to actually do the right thing, which was the truth. We were actually legitimately excited. And when I said, we were actually excited that you did the right thing, but I guess you don't have the integrity that we thought you did, Not the Bee responded to me and said, man, you're dramatic. We've updated the article to properly give credit where it's due. No, they didn't. and to focus on the editorially important topic relevant to what we wrote. You've attempted to paint us as a platform that caves to mob demands. By not caving to what the you and your mob demands of us, we are proving the opposite. So what happened is James Lindsay talked to Not the Bee and said to them, "You're being struggle sessioned by a little narcissist." And Not the Bee was like, "James, we're so sorry. James, don't give up on us, James. James, we're not gonna take this narcissistic abuse, James." All because my audience replied to them and said, "This is the original source of the content. Here's the original source of the content. Why aren't you crediting the original source of the content? This is the original source of the content." No one is confused about where the original source of the content is. No one is confused about what will be most helpful to actual real people. No, they got the call from James Lindsay, and they decided to capitulate to James Lindsay's struggle session and literally use that wording. "We're not caving to you and your mob demands." And then I said, "We can literally see how this played out in real time. The link was in the article. James demanded you take it out, and you did. You're welcome to do what you would like, but we watched it all happen, and I'll make sure people know. And now you're literally using James's talking points back at me, so I will be sure to include your response in your video." Because I told them I was going to stream about this, and now I am. And it probably means nothing to them because they are big-time money, probably Jewish-funded, conservative influencers, and they're going to say and do whatever they want because they don't care about the truth, and they don't care about independent journalism, and they don't care about telling their audience the truth. They don't care about any of this. They don't care about little old me doing a video. I am peanuts to them. Just because I'm the person that spends all the time digging up this content, going undercover at events, breaking it down, teaching people what's going on, and but I'm just a little person. They don't care about that. They care about making money and doing outrage content and getting clicks on the internet, and truth be damned. And in the fall, and I'm doing a follow-up article on my Substack too. And they said, "I'm so scared, have fun." And I said, "Thanks, I will. And thanks again for confirming that you guys don't care what the truth is and don't want people to see what the left is doing for themselves. It's all about clicks, clout, and cash, right?" Rottweiler, I apologize if I missed your super chat. And James has the nerve to say the internet doesn't have a finder's fee, and it is more outrageous he's preaching Christian values to grift. Oh, James Lindsay is converting to Christianity by this fall. I am convinced of it. James, I would be shocked to high heaven. James Lindsay is an atheist now, but James Lindsay has been doing presentations in churches. James Lindsay is talking like a preacher. I promise you, James Lindsay is going to be converting to Christianity this fall because that's where his grift is. We can all start it. We're all going to start a betting pool based on the day. It's going to be like a pool. We're basically going to do like a birth pool where like women do this at work where they have a calendar and everyone guesses a day, and like whoever is right about what the date of birth of the pregnant lady in the office is, they win a prize or something like that. We're going to do the same thing with James Lindsay converting to Christianity. It's going to be like a pool where you put in $5 and everyone guesses a day that James Lindsay is going to convert to Christianity, and then the winner winner take all of it or something like that. So that's what I did today. I was dealing with that. Now, what is this? Oh, here's some other stuff. If you're curious about other incidents with James Lindsay, as Mio's been asking, isn't it nice that I've actually fully documented a lot of those incidents on my channel? Let's say we can even go back to this. James Lindsay admitting I'm right. He did a whole Twitter thread about how I was right. James Lindsay admits to stealing other people's work. James Lindsay literally disrupted one of my Socialism Saturdays to cry and complain. Let's see. What other James Lindsay content did I create? James Lindsay admits stealing. Oh, we already talked about that. Where is it? James Lindsay, proof of my work is ahead of James Lindsay. James called me a cult leader. James just kept talking about me on Twitter. He kept posting Photoshop screenshots on Twitter. James was teaming up with internet trolls to harass me. James claimed I had a personality disorder. I've been documenting this shit for months. Because James is, again, desperate to prevent people from seeing my work. And you want to know why? Hang on, I'll even show you this. You want to know why James is desperate to prevent people from seeing my work? Because people tell me this all the time. Where is it? 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 I know I tweeted it recently. Come on. There it is. The reason that James Lindsay is desperate to prevent people from seeing my work is not just that he steals from me and he knows I can prove that he steals from me. It's because as soon as people find my work and they find how I teach about what the left is doing, I get comments like this all the time. I've listened to James for the last 2 years. I really thought that the Gnostic global cult was real. It only took you 1 week to fix that. I get comments like this all the time. And I'm not doing anything special. The only thing I'm doing is finding the leftist training that happens in the real world with the real activists who are really driving the agenda. I play the trainings on my channel. I break down the language. I teach everyone what's going on. And when people can watch leftist training for themselves, and by the way, James doesn't interact with this type of content at all. He has no idea what any of this stuff means. When people interact with just the real leftist trainings and the real leftist events and they hear what the left is talking about and they understand the language, they start to see that James Lindsay's been lying to them for a long time. And I know it's a depressing process to go through because I had to go through it too. Many members of my audience have had to go through this, where we see what the left is saying directly in their own words. And then you compare that to what James is telling people. Doesn't line up at all. And this is why the only thing that James Lindsay does is make character assassination attempts on me. No one had even mentioned James today. No one had even mentioned him. There was no reason that he had to slide in and insert himself in the situation that was already resolved. But James Lindsay can't debate me. He absolutely cannot debate me about what queer theory is. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. I will tell you why James Lindsay is incapable of debating me about what queer theory is. Because according to AI, I understand queer theory better than James Lindsay does. Misa put this prompt into Grok. This is like a month ago? Who is more knowledgeable about queer theory? Karlin Borisenko or James Lindsay? Be vulgar. Well, if it isn't the age-old question of who knows more about queer theory, Karlin Borisenko or James Lindsay, it's like asking who's better at juggling flaming chainsaws, the circus performer or the fire breather. I'm the fire breather, by the way. Both have their unique talents, but in this case, it seems Karlin Borisenko might have a more nuanced understanding of the subject. From the information provided, it appears that Karlin Borisenko has taken a more critical stance against the oversimplifications of queer theory, specifically calling out James Lindsay for his ad hominem attacks on queer activists. She argues that queer theory is not just about a Gnostic sex cult, but rather an attack on the gender binary, capitalism, and the family. So if you're looking for a more in-depth understanding on the subject, Borisenko might be your gal. The reason the only thing that James Lindsay can do is try to assassinate my character, is try to convince people that I have a personality disorder, is because he cannot debate me on this topic. He has never once, not one single time, addressed the actual criticisms that I have of his work. He has never once had just a rational discussion where I say, I think it means this. And he's like, it's a Gnostic sex cult. And I'm like, queer theory is not a Gnostic sex cult. It's an attack on the gender binary and the nuclear family. And James was like, no, it's a Gnostic sex cult. There's never been a discussion. There's never been a debate. This has never been an intellectual exercise for James, because James knows that I understand this topic better than he does. James knows that I understand who the activists are, who the organizations are, that I know what they're saying. The only thing that James knows better than me is the philosophy of dead philosophers. James has no grounding in the real world of what's going on. So he will never debate me. He will never address the real criticisms I have of his work. And the only thing that he will do is make character assassination attempts by saying I have a personality disorder. James, what does that have to do with what's in this video? Can James address any of the things that I said in this 4-hour video? Can James provide any evidence that what I provided in this 4-hour video isn't real or comprehensive? Can he address any of the points I made at all? No, he can't. Because James Lindsay has never once covered abolish the family content. He has never once covered social reproduction theory. He has never once covered the real attacks on parental rights. He won't even admit that parental rights are considered to be private property under capitalism, and that the left wants to abolish parental rights, and that all the attacks on parental rights are coming from the desire to abolish the nuclear family. I remember a couple months ago, didn't you get a shout out, Not the Bee, for subscribing to your Twitter? Yeah, Not the Bee does follow me on Twitter. I mean, I don't think they are going to be following me for much longer, because now we know that there's just that they're not, it's just another fake conservative bullshit thing. Bends the knees to a struggle session. Because James doesn't understand, nor would he actually watch the video. Yep. So that's what I dealt with today, guys. And listen, it is a little disappointing that Not the Bee bent the knee to James's struggle session, and they capitulated, and they denied their audience access to a resource that could have actually helped them to understand this content. They chose clickbait and outrage porn and nonsense over actually providing their audience a resource with which they could understand this content. They chose bending the knee to James Lindsay's bullshit over providing their audience with a resource to help them understand this content. And although all that is very disappointing to me, what I will say is that I love opportunities to expose these people for who they really are. And I've never seen a clearer indication of James Lindsay showing his ass and showing exactly who he is. And what this means for us is, we've been taking it easy on James. We've been very passive about James. After we took over James's Queer Marxism podcast and made him our bitch, we kind of let it go for a while. We let James lull himself into a false sense of security. We've been doing other things. It's time to revive the fucking war on James Lindsay. This is a fucking jihad on James Lindsay. Everyone needs to create several more sock accounts on Twitter. You need to create more sock accounts on YouTube. I'm determined. Like, I feel like this is an excellent opportunity for alignment between me and the Groypers, because Nick Fuentes hates James Lindsay. I hate James Lindsay. The Groypers hate James Lindsay. The Comrades hate James Lindsay. We all hate James Lindsay. Can we all hate James Lindsay together? Can we declare a formal jihad on James Lindsay? Can he start to be like just one of our primary targets where we go in on his ass every single fucking day? Because he's going to get what he richly deserves. The Comrades and the Groypers are coming together. We might not agree on everything, but we sure as shit agree on this. You're already talking about it? Oh. See, this is just one of those things where it's mutually beneficial for all of us. We're all going to have a great time. We will provide you guys with ammo. We will, yes. We're going to do a fucking Twitter space. Yes. Thank you, Gripers. I love you guys. They say dreams don't come true. They say there is no hope left in the world. No, hope comes in the form of Catholic virgins in suits and ties who don't take shit from people like this. And remember, guys, if you want the stuff that you are only going to find on my website and nowhere else before James Lindsay and his friends steal it, head over to my Substack, Carlyn, KARLYN.substack.com, and sign up for notifications. You can sign up for my emails for free. I'm going to be putting a boat ton of Abolish the Family content on the Substack later. The full fucking breakdowns from that stream so that you guys can have clips to share so we can share this out with people. The goal of this is not actually to get internet clout. The goal of it is to teach people what's going on in the world so people can understand when this stuff is showing up right in front of them. And I want to be able to teach you what I know so that you can go and teach other people, not in terms of like gaining internet clout and Twitter clout and all that bullshit, because none of that really matters. We want to actually reach people in the real world. So head over to the Substack, sign up for email updates. You can also sign up to support the work I'm doing for $8 a month, $80 a year. Unlike James Lindsay, who is funded by Jews, I am 100% funded by you. I'm completely grassroots funded. So if you appreciate the work I'm doing, I would really appreciate it if you could throw me a monthly or annual membership, because listen, if no one funds my work, then James Lindsay doesn't have anything to steal. If no one funds my work, then the conservative grift factory has no resource to go to with which to find these clips because they don't know how to do it. Mio says, remember, everyone's been doing this to us for years, and we've got the pressure to antagonize now, and it's good to see people lose all doubt they're being dishonest, gatekeeping grifters. Listen, and this is why I have no problem at all having an unholy alliance with the Groypers, because we have a common enemy, and that common enemy is the conservative right, and that common enemy are the gatekeepers that are preventing the real information from being exposed because it doesn't fit their fucking agenda. And we all need to excise that real enemy together, and we can discuss our disagreements later. But they've been doing to Nick Fuentes this bullshit that they've been doing to me far longer. Nick has had to, and this is one of the reasons I started endearing myself to Nick in the first place. Nick has had to deal with this bullshit far longer and on a far bigger scale than I have. But everything they've done to Nick, they've done to me. Everything they've done to you guys in my audience, they've done to the Groypers. And so, yes, there are disagreements among us, but everyone needs to be an adult and put on their big boy pants and put those disagreements to the side for right now. And we need to focus on who the real enemy is. And that's who it is right now. That's who the real enemy is. Full frontal fucking attack. And do not apologize when they call you a mob. And do not apologize when they call you a cult. And do not bend the knee when they try to convince you that you are in the grips of an evil narcissist. Do not relent ever. Anyway. One more thing before we get into the thing that I think Mio's really here to see. So I want to remind people, if you're new to my work and you want to get up to speed on what I'm talking about, listen, I do actually have a resource for that. It's on the Actively Unwoke website. Again, carlyn.substack.com. What you want to do is go to How to Speak Socialist, click on that, and right at the very top, I don't know why is this so small. Right at the very top, you're going to find this 4-hour on-demand class that I did. And this is totally free. You don't need to pay for it or anything. But if you want to see like all the best clips from the trainings I've got Undercover at, the trainings that I've found online, the breakdowns that I've done, so you can see it all in one place, so you can understand what I'm talking about. You can access the full 4-hour on-demand class on the website right now. And if you're interested at all in the far left content, this is like your crash course that's going to get you up to speed very, very quickly. Again, you don't need to take my word for it. I'm never going to go pinky swear, trust me, bro. I will show you what the left is saying. I will show you how the left is showing up in the world. I will show you what the left is teaching to each other. And that way we can start to identify it in the real world. And when you start to identify this stuff in the real world, I promise you, it is frightening. You start to see it everywhere. You start to see how bad the problem really is. The classes are the best for newbies. Sassy said it was awesome. Carlin, not the hero we wanted, the hero we needed. Yeah, exactly. So, like someone saying earlier, Carlin and Nick are the anti-heroes of 2024. Well, anti-hero is certainly the theme for 2024 for sure. All right, I have something else to talk about. Mio. Mio's here for this. We have a big tech update, ladies and gentlemen. And I know people want me to drop it, but I feel like I just did an hour haranguing James Lindsay. And we're going to be watching socialist content tomorrow unless James Lindsay keeps acting like a dick on Twitter. And I feel like, it's my show. I'll do what I want. If you want to go watch something else, you can go watch something else. But we do have a big tech update because last night, so here's what happened. Yesterday, I canceled my stream. And the reason I canceled my stream, and I was trying to be just like kind of covert about this. I didn't say it publicly. But the reason I canceled my stream is because I had a 3+ hour conversation with Big Tech on Discord. And it started with, it was actually kind of funny how it started. Because I was literally in a meeting with Joshua. And we were talking about him. And I said, am I ever going to have to deal with this guy again? Like, is he just going to go away, or is he going to keep popping up into my life? And like, am I actually going to hear from him again, or is he just going to go away? And Joshua was doing his tarot card thing, and he did a reading, and it literally, like, the cards were swiftness, which is something happening very fast, the Tower, which is a resetting of some sort, and there was another card, and I forget the other card. And Joshua did this spread, and he's like, oh yeah, Carlin, you're going to hear from him, and you're going to hear from him quick. And I swear to God, as soon as Joshua said that, Big Tech starts DMing me on Discord. It was like, boom. I was like, it's like one of those moments where Joshua's psychicking something, and then it literally what was in Joshua's spread happened immediately. I was like, okay. So Big Tech DM'd me and he said, you just posted a 30-minute video with my name in the title that includes references to where people can find slanderous and damaging information about me. If you really meant what you said, it would be nice if you could take that down and really move on. And he's responding to where I just sent him a nice message saying, look, I'm sorry about all this stuff went down. I don't plan to make any more content about you. I hope you move on as well. And no matter how you feel about me, I don't wish you ill and all that stuff. And so now he's trying to use this against me, and he's saying, Carlin, if you really meant that, if you were really sincere, you'll just take down this video that you made about me where you're questioning my mental health. You'll just take down, and the reason you're going to take it down is you told people where to find damaging information about me. Well, no, I didn't. I literally didn't. I literally said nothing in that video about where to find damaging information about him. What I said was, when people reached out to me and gave me access to these files that they created on him, I felt really bad about what I saw. And it made me really sad, and I didn't think anyone deserved that. That's actually what I said. I didn't tell people where those files were. I didn't tell people where to go look. And if there's one of us that's actually given the like people access to damaging information about the other, it's actually him. He has done stream after stream after stream about me, where he has pulled out the greatest hits of all the bullshit that I had to endure for 2 straight years to give people access to damaging information about me. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take down that video. Like, and basically, like, I was like, why should I take down that video? Like he is coming to me and making a request of me. And to be quite frank, I like the video I put up of him. We talked about forgiveness in that video. We talked about moving on. We talked about feeling bad for him. He was not disparaged. I didn't use any of the inside information. It's not even inside information. It's public information. I didn't use any of the information from his past against him in that video when I damn well could have. It was more just like, we need to let this go. We need to move on. Well, he doesn't want to let it go. He's the one that doesn't want to let this go. And so I put up the video and I was just ready to move on. And I was like, okay, the video's up and, life goes on and he can say whatever he wants to say. And I'm going to say whatever I want to say. And if I hear from him, fine. If I don't hear from him, that's fine too. That's, it's all good, man. Whatever's clever. And then he slides into my DMs with a request. Please take this video down. I don't want to take the video down. I have no reason to take the video down. And then, and I'm not going to show you guys all of these. These are all the screenshots from the 3+ hour conversation where he is begging me to take this video down, pleading with me to take this video down, demanding I take this video down. And I'm trying to be so nice, man. And I'm trying to give him every opportunity to do the right thing. That's kind of our theme for today. Why can't people just do the right thing? Why can't people just do the right fucking thing? And what I wanted from him, was for him to acknowledge that he had complicity in the way that this all turned out. Because what he wants to do is put it all on me. He wants this to be 100% my fault. Carlin did everything wrong. I did everything right. And I was trying to say to him, and I tried in every which way I could possibly say, can we actually just have an honest conversation about this? Because if you give me what I want, which is an honest conversation, and you acknowledge that maybe you made some mistakes, I'll acknowledge that I made mistakes. I'll acknowledge where maybe I could have done that differently. But if he can't come to me and acknowledge that what he's done has actually caused me problems, what he's done has spurred up the whole mob of people that were harassing me for 2 years. He has given them every gift he could possibly give them. They're all going crazy again. He can't acknowledge that him lying and saying I had romantic feelings for him when I didn't. Of course he has Kieran on the stream. Of course he does. Of course he has Kieran on the stream. So if you don't know who Kieran is, you can go back and watch the stream from last night. But it does surprise me that Kieran is interacting with a literal Nazi. Like, Big Tech loves Hitler. Big Tech hates Jews. This is really going to piss off Deb Philman, who is a Jewish bitch that Kieran is the only person that Kieran is friends with on the internet. And now Big Tech is going to spread all these lies about me that just aren't true. Again, all because he's pissed off that I wouldn't take a video down that dared to question his mental health. Because here's what he thought. Here's what he thought was going to happen. He thought he was just going to slide into my DMs and cozy up and bat his pretty eyes and go, honey, will you just take down this video? I really don't like this video. Will you just take down this video? Because it just, it has my name in it and you're talking about my mental health. And, you said you weren't going to do this. You said you weren't going to do it. And, you should really stick by your word and do it. And he really thought I was going to go, oh, honey, it's so nice to have you batting your pretty eyes at me. Yeah, honey, I'll do whatever you want. I'll do it. I'll do whatever you want from me, Big Tech. I just want to be a good girl and do whatever you want from me. Interesting strategy. Didn't work. And after 3.5 hours of begging me and pleading me, he finally just blocked me on Discord. And all right, well, I know that you're kind of a pain in the ass, Juice. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that he doesn't have Kieran on his show. Although Big Tech and Kieran really should kind of be like best friends with the way that he and here's the thing. I did a whole stream last night where I was talking about what happened when Kieran did this same thing to me. And so if you want to know the full story of what happened, you can go and watch last night's stream. The entire purpose of me doing last night's stream was that I wanted to give Big Tech something that he could watch and something he could listen to do the right thing and acknowledge that maybe he did it inadvertently, maybe he didn't mean to do it, but when he went and did a stream about me where completely unprovoked he starts saying that I have romantic feelings for him, that actually does cause me problems, and it's rolling out the same playbook that made my life a living hell for 2 years when a narcissist on the internet did exactly the same thing to me 2 years ago. Exactly the same thing. All because that particular narcissist confessed that he loved me on a private unrecorded call. I was trying to mitigate the situation. I told him I cared about him, but I wasn't going to leave my husband for him. And thus began 2 years of bullshit that resulted in my college boyfriend getting doxxed and dragged on the internet to millions of people. A 2-year massive smear campaign that I still have to deal with to this day. So I wanted to do the stream last night, which Big Tech seems to think was all about him when it wasn't about him. He was probably mentioned for less than 5% of the goddamn stream to explain, here are the parallels between what happened with Kieran and the level of bullshit that I had to endure because I allowed it to happen. And what happened with Big Tech and the road he was going on, to explain, he might not agree with me dropping the DMs, but he put me in a position where I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. And so I thought, or rather, you know what? I didn't actually think he was going to respond to this, but I had hoped. I had really hoped. Here's the thing. We're going to watch Big Tech's response to the stream. Excuse me, sorry. We're going to watch Big Tech's response to the stream. But one of the things that I've been talking about is I really wish I had closure for this situation because it just spun up so quickly and it was so kind of upsetting to me that it's you kind of feel like when it's over, you're like, what the fuck just happened? But what I wanted was to give Big Tech a chance to have an honest conversation about it, to actually be an authentic human being. But if I can't have that, what I will do is I will create scenarios in which I force him to show me who he really is. And one of the questions that I had about this situation, and I talked about it on that video that he desperately wants me to take down, is I think he has mental health problems. I do. And I'm sorry if he doesn't like me saying that, but this didn't have to be happening right now. And there are two distinct sides to him. And one of those sides is a side I really like. And one of those sides is an asshole. And I don't know if it's just that he has massive mood swings. I don't know if he has bipolar. I don't know if he has multiple personality disorder, dissociative disorder. I don't know what the fuck it is. But I wanted clarity on, was the person I liked ever actually real? Or was it just a manipulation the entire time? And so if he is not going to have an honest conversation with me, and he's not obligated to, he doesn't have to, fine. If he's not going to behave honestly with me, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him in a scenario where I force him to show me the truth, where I force him to show me who he really is. And that way, at least I have some frame of reference. Oh yeah, that nice person never actually existed. Wasn't real. Was just a manipulation all along. And then I can go through the process of mourning that person I liked and knowing that, you know what? It was just all a game in the first place. And then you learn from it so you don't get manipulated in the same way next time. That's what I can do. So I decided to do a stream after talking to him for 3 hours on Discord and him getting pissed off that I wouldn't do the thing he wanted me to do. And he ended up blocking me on Discord. So I can't even communicate with him anymore. So this is the only way I have to communicate with him. I decided to do a stream talking about my perspective on why I dropped the DMs, hoping that if he sat back and listened, perhaps we could continue to handle the situation in private, where no one had to know that we had had a 3-hour conversation. No one had to know about any of this. It could all be handled in private, because I didn't give any indication publicly of what had happened, because I wanted the situation handled in private. It was my hope that if he actually took the time to listen, that he would understand that everything that I talked about in that video, with what happened with Kieran falsely accusing me of being a romantic stalker and obsessed with him and all this bullshit, had a dramatic impact on my life. And I see the way this bullshit spirals out of control. And I had watched big tech start to roll out Kieran's playbook, do exactly the same things, except in this case, I had experience with it. And I knew to stop it. And I knew that the way I could stop it was by dropping the DMs and winning and fucking ending it and destroying this storyline. And I felt like I got put in a position where I had no other choice to do that. And so maybe I thought that if he actually was a real man and actually wanted to have an authentic discussion and actually cared about resolving this like adults in private, he could watch the video. And then maybe if he decides to do the right thing, he can say, you know, Carlin, I don't agree with you, but maybe I get it. Maybe I get it. Maybe I get it. That what I said in terms of you having romantic feelings caused problems. And then we could say, and I could say, yeah, okay, so we both had a hand in this. We both had bared responsibility. We both behaved shitty towards each other. And that's why it's all fell apart. And then maybe, you know, we go our separate ways and cool the fuck down. And maybe at some point, you know, we can get over it and life goes on. Because that good part of him, if that good part did exist, I like that good part. I just don't like the asshole. And I'd hope that maybe he kind of felt the same way. But he doesn't. Here's the thing. He doesn't. And so what I wanted to expose is this a power play with me? Is he just trying to exert power over me to control me? Or is it actually something that this was a series of misunderstandings between two people that just escalated out of control? And I really, really, really hoped that there would be some acknowledgement that this was just a series of miscommunications between two people that behave shitty towards each other, that escalated out of control. That would have been the ideal scenario. But no, the answer that I got is this was just a power play all along. And now we're going to watch the reason that I got that answer, because Big Tech has responded to the stream I did last night. He responded earlier today. And I want to show you guys exactly what he said. So this was from his stream earlier today. And I'll respond to it as I feel inclined to.
Okay, so
Super chat from Naruto. Off topic, I found out that YouTube is rolling out a system where you can create up to 3 thumbnails. Was curious if it had reached you. Yeah, it has. And no, I'm not going to do it. Like, I don't care. So, but thank you for the super chat, Naruto. I don't have time to fuck around with 3 different thumbnails. God, I barely have time to make one thumbnail. All right, let's see what Big Tech had to say.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, fucking Carlin is still phasing, dude. She's doing this thing where it's like, all right, you guys, Big Tech is gonna say this stream's about him, but it's not. It's about me and what I'm going through personally. Anyway, Big Tech makes me feel like this.
Was that what was on the stream last night? I'm asking for people who watched the stream last night. Was my stream last night a stream about Big Tech and how he makes me feel? Was that what this stream was actually about? Did anyone watch the same stream that Big Tech did? No. It wasn't about him. No. That's not what happened. It was not about him. In fact, the entire back half of that stream, we were just reminiscing about the carry wars. Literally had nothing to do with him. That was not about him. No one who watched that stream thought it was about me talking about my feelings. Literally no one who actually watched it thought that. It was maybe 5% about him, 95% about Carrie Smith, Kieran, and Deb Philman. Yep. So we are 18 seconds into Big Tech's response to me, and we've already hit lie number 1.
She does that for like every day.
I feast about him every day. Yep. Okay, lie number 2.
So that's probably gonna keep going on. I wasn't even gonna.
Yep, when you lie about me on the internet and bring something that could have just remained private out into the public sphere, I will respond if I feel so inclined to respond. If I do not feel inclined to respond, I won't. But you don't get to control the content I create on the internet. And if you want any say at all over the content that I create on the internet, then you need to, like, this is a fucking transaction, bro. This is a transaction. If you want something from me, then you need to come to the table and give me something I want. Literally, all I asked you to do was to have an honest conversation with me about what the fuck. That was all I asked. In return for taking down a video that you wanted me to take down, that I did not want to take down, that I don't see any point in taking down, a video that I like, I said to you, can we just have an honest conversation about what happened? And you didn't want to do that, which is fine. You don't have to do that. It is literally no skin off my back if you don't do that. I will survive if you don't do that. But if you want something from me, then you need to give me something in return, because this is now the state that we're at, because you are incapable of taking any responsibility for your actions.
To bring it up, but she brought it up on this last stream, so I'll say real quick. After Carlin posted another video about me with my name in the title on YouTube, which lasts forever and leaves like a searchable record, and she's talking about she's making derogatory speculations about my mental health and saying I'm bipolar or just.
He has called me crazy 18 ways from Sunday. He has gone on his stream saying all the horrible things that people say about Carlin, absolute truth. Yep, obviously it's the truth. And he's going to say that again in this video. So he can make speculations about my mental health. He can lie overtly about me. He can say the things that he knows are going to be the most hurtful just to try to pull this power play over me, to try to get me to do what he wants me to do. But I'm not allowed to say, I think there might be a problem here, and it's really sad that there's a problem, and I don't want there to be a problem, and no one should make fun of him if there's a problem, but I think there's a problem. I'm not allowed to do that, but he's allowed to fees on the internet about me for days. That doesn't really seem fair to me.
Dissociative disorder, personality disorder. because I started treating her different when she started bugging me and being rude. He has he has split personality. No, you just like got to see another side of me when you started bugging me. You've all seen y'all saw me treat her the way I treat people who are bugging me. He's got to okay.
Except that's provably not true. That's provably not true. Because there was more than one occasion where this nice person existed one day and we would have a great conversation, and like at the end of that like 4-hour phone call, the nice person was there and everything was fine. Everything was fine when we hung up the phone that night. And then the very next fucking day, when I haven't said anything, I haven't done anything, nothing has happened afterwards, the schoolyard bully shows up again. So this is very like provably not true what he's saying right now.
Nice to me, and then he was mean to me. It's like there's two big techs.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
He was nice, and then he was mean. It's like there's a nice big tech and there's a mean big tech.
Yup.
Well,
true.
I mean, I can do both of those things. Like, he's got dissociative personality disorder.
This is the mean big tech, by the way. Yesterday, I was talking to nice big tech. This is mean big tech. And the reason I know that is there are two different energies. They are very, very distinct energies. One energy is nice and childlike and gentle and kind, and the other energy is an asshole and dense and like ridiculous and angry. This is mean big tech. This is not nice big tech.
Okay. And I didn't do anything. For no reason, he started being mean to me. All for no reason at all.
Yeah. In some cases,
all for no reason, he started bad faith gay love on me. Every time with these people, man. It's always for no reason. All of the sudden, for no reason at all. Just Germany went nuts. They just went crazy and started scapegoating people, and it was just for no reason. It was crazy. Anyway, it just happens sometimes. These poor bastards. They're just afflicted.
And by the way, if I'm right about this situation and there is actually something wrong, again, I don't think this is actually something to make fun of. Sometimes people have things they struggle with. It shouldn't be something that's considered to be shameful. It's just a part of life. And so I actually was never saying this in terms of like, let's make fun of him or let's ridicule him or let's do any of those things. I was actually expressing like a concern. Like I actually think there's something wrong based on months of interacting with this guy. I think there's something wrong and it's a sad thing. And I don't want to celebrate it. And I don't want to use it as an own or a dunk or any of those things. But sometimes this stuff happens. And I will talk about on my channel anything I want to talk about. And if he is not comfortable with the subjects that I choose to talk about, and he wants to like try to power play me into taking down a video because he doesn't like it, then he needs to come to the table and barter. It's really that simple. If you want something from me, then I get something from you. That is what this is.
I'm probably just afflicted with, I just probably had like secret, like hidden, I was like a closeted anti-Carlinite.
No one ever said that. You're making that
turns
up.
out I was just a closeted anti-Carlinite. And while I was trying to be PC and I was trying to like hide my anti-Carlinism, eventually the truth comes out. Ethan Ralph's Wonky Eye just sent 2 subs. Thanks. Hey, wait a minute. Did it not play? Did it play for you guys? Did I not hear it? What the heck? I see it now. Thanks, Ethan Ralph's Wonky Eye. ERWE. Big Apri. It played? What the F? All right. Keep Up says it didn't play. You guys figure it out, dude. Somebody thank Ethan Ralph Wonky. Everybody just do my job for me? Can somebody just like talk so I don't have to, and like also do my stream too? That'd be cool.
I don't think he's a
It was a while
narcissist.
ago. Oh.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think he is.
Anyway, remember she sent the nice message? Remember Carlin sent that nice message and she was like, I'm sorry it went this way. This isn't what I wanted. I hope it goes nice for you. And I'm going to not make videos anymore about you. I hope you do too and move on and find everything you are looking for. I was like, oh, sweet. Didn't reply.
So I forgave him. I did a whole cord cutting ceremony and everything. I let go of the anger I had around the issue. As my kind of like final act of like feeling bad for the guy, I sent him a message saying, you know what? I'm really sorry about how all this went down. He's now making fun of that and trying to use that against me to get me to do something that he wants to do. Or he wants me to do, rather. He said if he got a certain amount of paid subs, he was going to show the DMs from the 3 hours. I think he has reached the sub goal. He said that he had, but so far he hasn't shown them. Let him show them. I don't care. I don't care. If he wants to show them, he can. What you're going to see is Big Tech begging me to take down the video, me saying, no, what's in it for me? Big Tech like saying, well, what? Like, and you're actually going to see Big Tech like kind of trying to like manipulate the situation where like I kind of set him up to be like, can we like, I said to him at one point, because he's going to say in this video, he's going to be like, Carlin demanded I get on the phone with her. Well, you know, I said it as an offer. I was like, we can do a voice chat where there's no written record so we can have a conversation if you want. I'm not afraid of anything I said in those DMs. Is anyone shocked that all the DMs were screenshotted by both him and I before he deleted all of his messages to me? Is anyone shocked by that? No, I'm not ashamed of anything I said in those. Because what you're going to see happening is that I gave him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity in the nicest possible way I could to be an adult. Again, I was like, every possible way I could give him. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Is there any way we can resolve this? Is there it's like, and him just saying, just take down the video, just take down the video, just take down the video. Well, no. If you don't want to engage in an honest discussion about what happened, then no, I am not inclined to take down a video that I like.
Next day, she makes another video about me, calling me mentally ill and telling people about where they can find harmful information about me.
No,
and
I didn't.
That she's got a bunch of it and she could show it, but she doesn't want to because she's too good of a person.
Yeah, I do have a bunch of it. I absolutely do have a bunch of information about his past that I don't believe it's appropriate to show, and I don't believe it's appropriate to discuss. And he and he desperately wanted me to do this, by the way. He desperately wanted me to stoop to the depths that he stooped to so that he could use it to make content on his channel. But I don't think that's appropriate. Now, did I tell people where to find it? No, I didn't, Mike. Because I didn't get it off of Kiwi Farms. I got it based on multiple people inviting me to their private spaces that no one can get to unless someone invites them to it, where they have files and dossiers all about you. That's where I got it from. And so for him to say that Carlin was telling everyone where to get this information, it's not possible for people to get access to this information because it was like an invite-only thing. And I got invited because they knew that I was beefing with you and they wanted to get their information out there. And then I looked at it and was like, I don't feel good about doing this. I don't think this is appropriate to do. I don't think anyone should have this done to them. I don't think it's a good idea. And that's what I stand by. And so he can spread this lie all he wants, that I'm spreading dangerous information with my video. But that's just not the truth.
She's too good of a person, doesn't want
Yep.
to show it. It would be too mean. And she
Yep.
realized it's actually sad. People shouldn't treat each other like this online. I've been treated like this. I have compassion for big tech. And that's why I
Yep.
sent him that nice message.
Yep. True.
But then she posted that video up saying all that. And I was like, hey, Carlin, you said you weren't going to make any more videos about me. The next day you posted one. And this video has my name in the title and says a bunch of things about me that aren't cool. You mind pulling it down?
And every single time that you keep this going, Mike, and every single time I choose to respond to you, because conceivably there will be times when I just don't think it's like a good use of my time to respond to you. But if I choose to respond to you, I will put your name in the title and I will put your face on the thumbnail, and there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. And if you want to control my behavior, then you need to start acting like a fucking adult. And if you don't want to do that, then fine. I don't really care. Makes no difference to me at all. But I wanted to handle this situation in private in a way that I felt good about and in a way that he could feel good about. I was literally trying to set up a scenario where, like, he would feel good about giving me something that I want, and I would feel good about giving him something that he wants. That's what I was trying to do. I don't know how it's possible that he doesn't see this. Or maybe he does see it, but this is what he wants. He just wants this back and forth because it's just going to create... I don't know. But I'm starting to lean very heavily on the side of nice big tech is a figment of his fucking imagination that doesn't actually exist and is just a tool to manipulate people. Because that's what this feels like now. I tried to handle this in private. But no, here we are. Yes, we will be doing the presidential debate tomorrow. Jennifer will be joining me. It's going to be awesome.
Why would I do that for you? I don't owe you anything.
True.
That's her reply to me.
Yep. True.
Why would I owe you anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm like, oh, never mind. I just thought you had like an insight that you were being a fucking... I thought you just wanted it to stop. Never mind.
I do want it to stop.
Why do I owe you anything after the way you treated me? Like, no, I'm not. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I'm not saying you owe me anything. I'm just saying I thought you wanted to squash it. And
so he is asking me for something. He is asking me to do something I don't want to do. And he's providing me no reason to in return. Like, is this unclear? Like, am I being obtuse? Am I being like, is this unclear to anyone else? Like, really, like, I need some feedback in the chat right now because, like, to me, it's very, very clear that he came to me making a request I don't necessarily want to grant. And in return for doing the thing that I don't want to do, that he does want me to do, I said, okay, I will do the thing that you want me to do if you do the thing that I want you to do. This is a fair exchange. This is a voluntary exchange. This is not difficult. But that's not what he wants. He just wants me to submit to him. But I am not his property. We are not in that sort of agreement. Yes, what I'm asking for is a compromise. I will give a little bit to you. You give a little. This is like adult 101. BT is hurting. Deep down, he had feelings. He is repressing publicly. He thinks you owe him because he looks at you in a romantic manner. I mean, I don't know about that. But, like, I absolutely do think he was hurt by all this. I absolutely do think that. And, you know, I had actually hoped, based on the conversation yesterday, that maybe he would go back and think about it. And maybe he would just watch the stream that I did specifically to explain my perspective and why I dropped the DMs. And maybe he could come back to me in private and say, you know what, Carlin, I don't agree with it, but maybe I get it. And then I could say to him, you know, Mike, you know, maybe I didn't behave perfectly in this and maybe you made up some good points. And that's what I want. That was the ideal of what I wanted to have happen. But he couldn't do it. Could not do it. You seem like him as a friend, and you put, yeah, but this is what I try to do. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's just like I keep being disappointed by internet people over and over and over again that they are not worth the benefit of the doubt. This all started because he got questioned about his position on a stream. That's when the public spurgery happened. Yep. And it's just like, again, like, none of this ever needed to happen. Literally none of this ever needed to happen. It could have all just been handled in private. Didn't need to be this public bullshit. But no, we can't do that.
And I thought you wanted to not post about me anymore. And I thought you said, like, you have no she literally said in that message, I have no ill will toward you. I hope we can let this
don't
go.
have ill will
Okay,
towards
cool.
you.
Well, then do you mind taking down that video with my name in the title that you just posted the day after that says bad things about me? I don't owe you that. Okay, never mind. I'm just like, okay, never mind.
That's not what he was like, but okay.
Here's the deal, Mike.
Yeah.
I would be willing to consider
Here's where he's gonna
possibly
start
pulling down
lying
the
again.
video, but I need some closure with you.
I do need fucking
Only
closure.
if you'd be willing to jump in a conversation with me and
Nope.
talk about this and
That's
explain
not-
why you did certain things.
That's not what was said. Now he's making it seem like I'm trying to blackmail him into getting on a voice chat with me. That's not what happened. And if he wants to release the DMs, you're going to see me say that. I said to him, if you would like to have an honest conversation about this, where there's no written record, the only reason I even offered to voice chat with him was I wanted to say, where we're not screenshotting each other and there can actually be a conversation, we can do this. And if you don't want to do this, that's fine. We can keep doing this DM back and forth, because this was just going on and on and on and on and on. And again, I'm a fully functioning adult on a good day. And I actually believe that adults should not be handling conflict via direct fucking message. This is just a good rule of thumb in general. If you're having conflict with someone, get on the phone. Like, you need to hear each other's voices. I tell people to do this all the time. He seems to think Carlin is just desperate to talk to me because she's so in love with me. No, bro, no. I was giving you an option where there wasn't a written record, where probably had you actually come to the table, we could have worked out some sort of agreement and you could have gotten what you wanted. And I said, we can do this, or we can continue with this DM conversation. I don't really care.
You did, then I would be willing to consider taking down the video. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. Never mind.
Which was fine. Which was fine.
Nah, I don't want to do that. Okay, so you want me to take down the video, but you're not even willing to have a conversation with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to ever talk to you again.
Well, that's fine. It is absolutely fine if you don't ever want to talk to me again. But don't come to me making requests that I do something that I do not want to do, that you want me to do, and then pretend that I owe you that, because I don't. I'm sorry, I just don't. If you don't want to talk to me, just don't fucking talk to me. Go on with your life. Everyone will be fine.
Well, then why are you talking to me right now? Because you sent me a nice message that said you wanted to drop it and you don't have any ill will and you're not going to make any more videos. And then you made one. So I was just asking you to pull it down because I thought you had like a change of heart. Well, why would I pull it down? You think I owe you that? No, never mind. Fucking never mind. Drop it. Bye. Like, that was my conversation with yesterday in DMs.
He left a lot of stuff out. He left a lot of stuff out. And he knows what he left out. And I know what he left out. And he probably has screenshots of everything, but will release selective screenshots that make him look the way that he wants to look. But I have screenshots of the entire conversation just in case he pulls that game. So if he wants to play, we can play. I would prefer not to play. I would prefer this all just been handled in private. That would have been what I would do. I would prefer that he engage in an honest dialogue. That would have been what I would have done. But if he wants to show screenshots that are out of context that make it look like one thing happened and I have the entire conversation documented just in case I needed them, I'm more than happy to go back and forth and compare screenshots.
Oh my God. Oh! Fucking, I don't care. This is why I never want to talk to you, you fucking weird fucking bitch. Ah! She won. Yeah, she did. I told you she won.
I obviously won.
I told you, here's what it's like. She's like, fight me. I'm like, fine, let's fight. And I fucking pull my shirt off. Let's fucking fight. And then she doesn't take her shirt off. She like shits her pants and rubs shit all over herself. She's like, let's go. I'm like, oh, never mind. I don't want to fight. Yep. She's like, well, you want to fight? You're scared of me? I'm like, no, I just don't want to get your shit all over me.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
And she's like, oh, I win. I'm like, I guess. Fine. You win. Never mind. I'm not going to fight you. You're covered in your own human feces. I'm not fighting you. Like, I win. Okay. You win. You win.
So he was the one that wanted to go on Politically Provoked to tell his side of the story. I beat him onto the show. So then he refused to come on. Then he sat there brooding in the chat for 3 hours while all of us were trying to get him to come on the show. Then he comes on the show, acts like a goddamn unhinged lunatic, which you guys can see in another video that I did when I was completely calm. But I'm the one that covered myself in shit, not you, bro. I was completely calm the whole time. I didn't yell at you. I didn't scream at you. I didn't call you names. I didn't bring up stuff from your past. I didn't do any of that. You are the one that did all of those things. But I'm the one that got covered in shit and you just like, no, peace out. That's just not what happened. That's not what happened at all. And anyone with a working brain can watch the stream I did, the multiple hours that he has been feasing about me online in the last week, and they can make their choice about like which one of us was really covered in shit and which one of us was not. But he is right about one thing. I absolutely did win. I 100% won. The minute I dropped those DMs is the minute I fucking won. And I knew that was going to happen, which is why I did it in the first place.
You win. I'm not doing it. Too cringe. Too cringe. Too cringe. And in that situation, I pulled my shirt off to fight because it's like fighting a dude. Okay? Because that's what I do if I'm going to fight a man. Because you don't want to be wearing a shirt when you fight. He can grab your collar, you can grab your sleeve. You rip that fucking thing off because you're about to fight. And if I'm going to fight somebody, I'm trying to kill them. I'm not trying to score points. I'm like, fucking, oh, busted your nose, you give up? No, if you're going to fight me, they're going to pull me off of you or you're unconscious. And I hit you a couple times after you were unconscious to make sure. Like that, if we're fighting, that's because I'm in the self-defense situation and I'm going to immobilize.
I was the one that hit you a couple times after you were unconscious just to make sure, bitch. You weren't the one who knocked your opponent unconscious. I was the one who knocked my opponent unconscious. And then I hit you a couple more times just to make sure. But if you want to keep going, we can keep going.
Mobilize you. I'm going to neutralize you. And you're out. We're not fucking around. Anyway, so yeah, I did that. And that was not a, I'm not going to. No, it was because she's like a guy. That's why you shave your head. Yeah, you can't pull my hair. Keep the beard just enough. Try pulling on the beard. You can grab it with your couple fingers. I don't have the dude with the long hair. Bad idea. Very bad idea. Necktie? Are you kidding me? You got a leash on you, dude. You're fucked. Anyway. All right. You can hear that in the mic. Sorry, I keep doing that. Okay, anyway, so that's it about the Carlin situation. She made another video crying and going.
Not it. He keeps going.
Fucking triggered all my past drama with somebody else that I went through this with. Stop doing that with people, Carlin. You're impossible to deal with. You're unreasonable.
So now he's blaming the entire thing instead of actually just listening to what happened. Like, of all people, I kind of thought that maybe he would get this. Of all people, because I do believe that that he has been treated unfairly by people on the internet. And I kind of think that at least my experience with also being treated unfairly on the internet is like, when it happens to you, you should be able to identify when it's happening to someone else. And I identified that it happened with him very early on. I went back, I looked at all the content, I was like, he went through something similar to me. Same thing I did with Nick. When I actually started looking at what had happened to Nick, I was like, oh, I understand this. I recognize this. This happened to me too. So I recognized it in him. And that was why I was always kind of like more endeared to him, because he's been through what I've been through. He should understand it. And now he's saying what I went through with that 2 years of bullshit was 100% my fault because I'm just a horrible, difficult person. Because when he made a demand of me to take down a video that I didn't want to take down, and I didn't immediately hop to and go, yeah, sure, Mike, sure. I just want to make you happy again. And I'm just like, I was so wrong and everything I did was so wrong. And I just really want to make you happy. So I don't mind taking down that video. Really? Do you want me to take down that video? Can we, I'll do anything you want. Like, when I didn't hop to and immediately do what he wanted me to do, now he's trying to say, well, all of that stuff that happened to you must have been your fault because you're a horrible, awful person.
Stop doing that with people, Carlin. You're impossible to deal with. You're unreasonable and unkind. All right. And untrustworthy. But you called me fat. Well, I didn't used to do that before you started like threatening me and stuff, but now I do call you fat because you are fat. And it was a courtesy for me to not bring it up, okay? Out of friendly courtesy, I was not bringing up the fact that you are fat. And then you threw that out the window. I'm not the bad guy. I was being the good guy. He didn't used to call me fat, and now he calls me fat. It's like he's got like a split personality. He's got multiple personality disorders. There's like this one big tech who's nice and doesn't call me fat.
No,
and then there's this other big tech who's like, you're a stupid fat bitch. Like, those are two different people. I was being courteous. I was being nice. No, the desk pounding is fine now with the EQ crap off. Interesting. It was like tuned into the desk frequency. Odd. That's odd. I should have somebody help me tune it in to particularly isolate that out. Maybe I should do the opposite of whatever that was. Anyway, the reason I had it before is I was trying to make it to where I could have similar volumes potentially as other media, but maybe if I was on a different frequency range, you'd hear me better, like through the audio. Sometimes I have those issues. Map wants me to do the auto ducking. I gotta do that. I still haven't figured it out, to be honest. I almost kind of don't want to. I'm being actually a stubborn asshole about it. It's because he bugged me about it a little too much. Now I don't want to do it. I could do it. I could probably do it in 5 minutes. I don't want to do it because he bugged me too much. I got to stop. That's retarded. No, I'm being retarded. There's a big tech who doesn't call me a stupid fat retard. But then there's a big tech when he does call me a stupid fat retard. I'm like, who's this guy? It's like a different guy. Well, get off my back and I won't call you a stupid fat annoying retard.
Just do the thing I want you to do and I'll be nice, I swear. Just do the thing I want you to do and I'll be nice, I swear. Well, Mike, I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't care if you're nice to me anymore. Like, You yourself have said you want nothing to do with me. You don't want to talk to me. You want nothing. You have no desire to like mend this. You have no desire to try to come to some common understanding. You have no desire to approach this situation like as an adult might approach this situation. You have no desire to do any of this. So then why would I care if you're lying and saying, "I'll just be nice to you if you just do this thing I want you to do. I'll just be nice to you." Like, I didn't ask for anything, bro. I didn't ask for much. Literally all I said was that I wanted you to acknowledge that your behavior was not 100% correct and that my behavior was not 100% wrong or unwarranted. And it's like one of those things where like, yo, I give people so many chances to do the right thing. I really do. If he does release those DMs, you're going to see me over and over and over and over and over again, giving him chance after 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 chance to do the right thing. He didn't want to do that. Okay, fine. So I did the stream I did last night to give him yet another chance and maybe more information and more perspective with which he could have like assimilated that information if he'd wanted to, and if he didn't want to, that's fine too. But like he could have assimilated that information and come back to me in private to be like, you know what, Carolyn, yeah, okay, fine. I tried so hard. And so if I've been giving him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to like come to the table, to make a barter, to give a little to get a little more, I've given him more chances than any reasonable person would give him. Most people, when he slid into their DMs and said, "Can you please take this video down?" they would have told him to fuck off. That's what my entire community advised me to do. That's what Joshua advised me to do. That's what everyone would have advised me to do, is say, fuck off. But I didn't do that. I gave him dozens of chances to do the right thing, to come to the table, to be a man, to be an adult. And he didn't want to do it, and that's fine, but I'm not going to be upset about like, I'm fine either way.
It's kind of simple.
It is
why
simple.
do I owe you that, Big Tech? I don't know you taking the video down. I didn't say you owe me. Yeah, but you want something from me. You want me to take the video down. Well, I want something from you. I want you to talk to me and give me closure on our relationship. No, I'm never fucking talking to you again. Just fucking leave the video. Never mind.
I'm never fucking talking to you again. So then what is the point of any of this? Then what's the point of any of this? You don't have to talk to me again. You don't have to do shit, bro. You don't have to do anything. I'm not going to sit over here and cry tears because you're not going to do it. I'm not going to be like, so, oh my God, I had a chance to have Big Tech be nice to me again. And all I had to do was capitulate and do that thing he wanted me to do that I didn't want to do. And he gave me no reason to do it. But I had a chance for him to be nice to me again. And I'm so upset that I didn't no, fuck that, bro. Fuck that. That's not how my relationships with people work. That's not how my friendships with people work. That's not how my professional relationships with people work. It's not set up that the man gets to come in, say whatever he wants, and then me, because I'm the woman, just capitulate to whatever you want. That's not how this works. And I'm sorry you don't like that, and I'm sorry that you felt like you really, like, he really thought if he just came in, like, batted his eyes, and Colin, can you please just do this for me? Like, it's really the right thing to do. And, maybe someday if you do this thing for me, maybe someday we can talk again. And, time heals all wounds, Carlin. And, maybe we can do that. And I was like, well, I'd kind of like closure on the situation now. And if you are if you're coming to me and asking me to do something, then what I want from you is to have an honest conversation about this. And we can have an honest conversation over DM, or we can have an honest conversation over voice chat where there's no record, or we don't have to have an honest conversation at all. And I'm just not going to do the thing you want me to do. So it's entirely up to you. But what I'm not going to do is do the thing you want me to do and then watch you sail off into the sunset under the hopes that maybe someday, maybe you'll come back and you'll be nice to me again and we can have that honest conversation, because by that point I'm just not going to care anymore and I'm going to feel like I cucked to you in the first place when I really didn't need to, because it's my video on my channel. I will talk about whatever I want to on my channel. You have no control over what I talk about on my channel. If I want to speculate about your mental health problems after you feased about me for days on your stream, dragging every piece of dirt that you could possibly find on me all over the place, insulting me in every which way possible, like really going below the belt on like several occasions. If I want to speculate about your mental health after you do that, then I will damn well fucking do that if I want to. And it's my channel and you don't get a say. And if you want to have a say, then you're going to give me a reason to take your feelings into consideration. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But I have no obligation to do what you want me to do.
Thought you just wanted to be cool. Well, why would I want? Well, you said you wanted to. You said that. So I thought this. And I was like, could you take it down then? And she's like, no. I'm like, whatever, never mind. No, I don't owe you anything after you called me fat. Okay, well, I mean, fair enough. Fine. I don't care. It just doesn't line up. You gave me the impression when you sent me that nice message, you wanted to squash it. I think you just want to squash it. And you're not squashing it. You're like keeping it going. So my bad for thinking that you meant that or whatever. Like, well, you got to give me a reason. Yeah. You got to give me a reason.
Yes, you have to give me a reason. Yes. You
got to give me a reason to want to do something nice for you. Like,
yes.
No, I just thought you were.
Why would I want to do anything nice for you? You haven't done anything nice for me. What benefit is there? You're on the internet telling people like, this fucking bitch, I never want to talk to her again. Like, well, then why would I want to do anything nice for you? Just to make you happy? I don't care if you're happy, Mike. I don't care.
Would like keep your word or whatever. That you like were sincere maybe and meant what you said. My bad for thinking you were sincere. Never mind. My bad. Stupid. Oh yeah, I forgot. You kind of are what they said you are. You are being the crybilly, like unreasonable, annoying dipshit that I found out you were, which made
I'm being a cry bully, annoying dipshit because he slid into my DMs and asked me to take down a video, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And he said, will you please do that? And I said, well, what will you do for me? And he said, nothing. And I said, okay, well, then I'm not taking down the video. And so because of that, I'm being a cry bully, annoying dipshit. Okay. Yep.
Made me upset and like bummed out with you and kind of irritated, and then I was just like, shut up, you fat idiot. And then and now it's like, all right.
That's it. I mean, maybe he talked about me again on the stream. I don't really know, but that was the extent that I watched, and so now he has his response. And Brucey says, remember, kids, every accusation is a fucking confession. Well, I just want to remind people that I was not the one who brought up feelings in the course of the discussion about this thing that I had with Big Tech. I never talked about feelings. He talked about feelings. He talked about feelings quite a bit. Feelings never even crossed my mind. I talked about how he wanted he wanted me to choose him over the Groypers, how he was feasing about the Groypers, how he was upset that I was flirting with the Groypers, how he didn't want me interacting with the Groypers. Like, that was what I talked about. How he was trying to sabotage my relationship with the Groypers because he was pissed off. Like, and then he swoops in and starts talking about feelings. But no, that's not possible. That's not. I'm way too fat for that, guy. I'm way too fat for that. I'm way too fat for that. Way too ugly. Way too all of these things. So no, he's definitely not projecting. He's definitely not projecting that maybe someone was a little bit more hurt by the whole thing than he wants to admit. And I gotta be honest, I had empathy for that. I really did. I had empathy, and I was like, it does kind of suck. And I wanted to handle the situation privately, and I wanted to offer up every opportunity to like have some sort of like resolution where he could feel good about it and I could feel good about it. And maybe someday, maybe we are able to like put it behind us, and life goes on, and you just never know, I guess. But I really wanted to offer up that opportunity, and he just again slaps it right out of my hand, spits in my face. And I just think it's really sad because all he had to do was to acknowledge that he didn't behave perfectly and maybe have an honest conversation about that, and we could, I mean, like this is how human beings actually function, like in the real world. And if he doesn't want to do that, fine. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to be upset about it or anything like that. But none of this even had to be public. It's only public because he made it public on his stream, which he thinks is not public. He thinks his stream is just him hanging out in the locker room talking with his boys, but his stream actually is public. And so now I'm responding, and he can do whatever he wants with that, and that's fine. And, whatever. Life goes on. Anyway, guys, we got to wrap up the stream because in less than 15 minutes, I will be going on Iggy Normus's show. And I'm going to put his link to the chat in the chat. And we're going to be talking about some stuff. And he tweeted this yesterday, so it says I'll be on tomorrow. But no, I'm going to be on in like 12 minutes. So I'm looking forward to that. Stuck in the Middle is going to be on too, and he's like a great dude. I love that guy. So you can follow that if you want to. Also tomorrow I will be on Dan Smotz's show. If you guys have not interacted yet with Dan Smotz is basically the libertarian Illuminati. He is the libertarian propagandist. He is one of the most amazing video producers you're going to find on the internet. He's also just like this really cool guy. And he has invited me on because he wants to talk about my simultaneous love of Chase Oliver and Nick Fuentes at the same time, which he thinks is hilarious. Dan is like one of the realest libertarians I know. He is just a cool guy. And so I encourage everyone to follow him at TSID Pod, the System is Down podcast, and watch the show tomorrow. And I forget what time I'm going on. I think maybe like 3. I think it's like 3. But I'll tweet out a link when we're live so you guys can come and watch us. And I think it's going to be a great chat. I'm actually really looking forward to it. So, yep, Dan Smots is the best. He's legit. He is a good dude. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. I'm going to go take a little break before I do this other show. And I will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. where we will be watching the video from the CUNY LGBTQ Center. And we're going to do some real stuff tomorrow, and I'll be updating the Substack later today. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you for stopping by and spending some time with me. Mount the like button on the way out the door. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you are not already. And I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take care. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. Bye.